Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or are watching this channel for the very first time, it is called Uncommon Sense because here we discuss everyday issues. Well, we try to find logical solutions, but not everyone uses logic. For that reason, it is called uncommon sense. I want to let everybody know that right now I'm live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. I just want to let everybody know that subscriber mode is on, meaning that if you're not a subscriber, if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you will need to be a subscriber. First of all, I just want to give a huge shout out to all the people who have subscribed to my channel, which is currently at 154. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, or TikTok. And I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter in your devices. Now, I'm going to ask that if you have not done so already, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I do prepare content, you will have the opportunity to either to catch it live or catch it on the playback. Now, tonight seems to be a very busy night for live streams. I know for a fact that Magic Mulata will have a live stream at around 10 o'clock. Fighter is going to have a stream tonight. Not so also is going to have a stream, and Don Armando as well. So what might happen is there may be more people catching this stream on the playback. That is perfectly fine with me. Okay. What I'm going to do is in a few minutes, I'm going to drop the link. Sure, anyone wishes to join the panel. What I asked is the following: for those who enter a comment, please try to keep it respectable towards me, towards anyone on the panel, or anyone on the chat. And I'm also going to ask those to do not overtalk anyone on the panel. Because here we value everybody's opinion. So, as you can see by the thumbnail, the topic for tonight is who are more faithful, men or women? So, the whole purpose of this stream is to have a discussion to see which sex tends to be more faithful and which sex tends to cheat more. So, of course, many people have different opinions. So, hopefully, we will be able to explore those opinions. Now, before we get into the topic, we're going to get into the latest round of what the heck this is. Okay. Now, who is the recipient of the What the Heck This Is award tonight? It is none other than the one, the only hybrid Vida. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, he is a YouTube creator who is a part of the biracial, multiracial community, who has a channel. Unfortunately, his channel had to be deleted due to copyright infringement. Okay? So he created a new channel. And he's been involved in a dispute with Angry Biracial, and both of them have made accusations and counter accusations. Okay. Let me just state for the record regarding the allegations made against Hybrid Vanguard, Vigor. I'm sorry, Hybrid Vigor. Everyone is innocent or proven guilty. Okay. So I apologize for that. So on his latest stream, he gets into his discussion regarding the issues that he had with Angry Biracial, and then he puts my name into the mix. Why? I do not know. I have not said anything about Hybrid Vigor in weeks. But he's talking about how my platform is insignificant and not important. Hybrid, with all due respect, at least my channel did not have to be deleted. And you know the saying, those who live in glass houses should not throw stones. And of course, his compatriot, Walter Vanguard, had to chime in as well. I don't have any issues with him. Okay. As far as Hybrid is concerned, I would suggest, instead of picking up beefs with people who don't have a beef with you, concentrate on developing your platform. Concentrate on developing your channel. And hopefully this time it won't be just simply reaction videos to other people, okay? With all due respect, that's kind of weak, okay? And that's pathetic. So that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, just give me a moment, I'm going to drop the link, okay? And I'm going to enter it in the chat. Okay. If anyone wishes to join the panel, they may do so. If anyone wishes to enter a comment, they can do so as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some information in regards to the topic. Now, to be perfectly fair, I have tried to find information regarding both male and female, and sometimes that could be a challenge. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to share with everybody 10 traits of a faithful man. Now, why am I sharing this information? To illustrate a point. Men can be faithful, should they choose to be. Okay. And this came from an article in Polisabi written on February the 10th. Okay. There is nothing worse than being in a relationship with someone who's constantly cheating on you. It can be emotionally draining, and it can make you feel like you're not good enough. If you're looking for a man who will be loyal to you and won't cheat on you, there are certain traits that you should look for. A man who is faithful and loyal will never cheat on you. He will always be there for you through thick and thin and will always put your needs first. Therefore, when it comes to relationships, loyalty is critical. In this blog post, we will discuss 10 essential traits of a faithful man. Number 1, he always makes time for you, regardless of circumstances. If a man truly loves you, he will never make excuses for not making time to see you. Even if he has a busy schedule or going through a tough time, he will still put your needs first and find ways to see you as often as possible. A faithful man won't cheat on you because he wants to spend every second of his free time with you. He makes sure that even when life gets in the way, nothing can stop him from seeing his woman. Love always finds a way. Just because it may be difficult for him to see you doesn't mean it's impossible. A true gentleman won't let anything get in the way of spending quality time with a partner, no matter what. Number two, no excuses or explanations. A faithful man won't make excuses for not seeing you. He will always be straightforward with you and he won't have any secrets from you. If he is ever, is he ever late or has a cancel plans at the last minute, he will never sugarcoat it by telling you lies about why this happened. Instead, he'll be just honest about the reason because there are no secrets between him and his woman. He knows that lying only leads to more problems down the road, so better to tell the truth now than to find out later when things get messy. This way, trust can continue growing strong between them both, even if something terrible happens at some point in the relationship together. Number three, you are his priority. A faithful man will always put you first. He won't cheat on you because he wants to spend every second of his free time with you and make sure that your needs are met before anything else in life. The best way I can describe this trait would be if your partner truly loves you, they should never let anything get between them, including other people's opinions. He knows what matters most here, you. There is no room for cheating in a loving relationship, and if there's any doubts or suspicions about whether or not someone is being loyal, then it may be a time to reconsider the situation altogether, especially when they don't realize how much they mean. Number four, he shares his dreams with you. A man who is faithful will share his dreams and aspirations with you. He wants to build a future together so he won't cheat on you because he knows that it will destroy any chance of making those dreams come true. It's also crucial for him to make sure that his partner shares these same values before committing completely. Otherwise, there will be problems down the line. That means talking through openly and honestly early on rather than waiting until feelings have developed further into something more substantial or more severe. Relationships start emerging between both, which might lead towards cheating. Number five, he's more in love with your soul. A man who is faithful will always put your needs first. He won't cheat on you because he's more emotionally in love with the emotion aspect of being together than anything else. This means that even if something happens to make him feel like there's no hope left in their relationship, his commitment remains strong and he will never stray from it or try cheating as an outlet for release without talking about any issues beforehand between each other first. Before taking things further into new territory when both parties are comfortable moving forward together. Number six, you have a secure bond. A faithful man will always make you feel secure. He won't cheat on you because he wants a strong connection with someone he loves, who loves him just as much as they love themselves. And that's why he's willing to put extra effort every day so they can stay together forever. If there were no such thing called cheating, then relationships might enjoy each other more than ever before. But unfortunately, it does exist, which means people often get hurt in relationships where trust has been broken or violated by one partner over another through their action, words, etc. Because of this, many individuals choose instead not to go down this path again due to its potential risks involved. Example, emotional pain. It doesn't mean it is impossible, though, just more complicated work requires on both sides involved, including yourself first before anything else matters at all. Number seven, humble and modest. He won't cheat on you because he is humble and modest. He knows that his girlfriend deserves the best. So he works hard to be the man who can provide for her needs. If it means giving up something what makes him happy in life, then it shows how much dedication there really is between both people involved. They're willing to make sacrifices together as long as those around them benefit from doing so too. Number 8, honesty is his policy. A man who is faithful will always be truthful to you. He won't cheat on you because he wants to have a clear conscience and does not want to lie or deceive you in any way. There's nothing worse than a feeling like your partner is constantly hiding things from you or not being completely honest, which can often lead to more distrust, arguments, and resentment over time. This is why it's so vital for couples to maintain an open line of communication, especially if they want their relationship to last. If honesty really is the best policy, then it should be applied in all aspects of life, not just our romantic ones. Otherwise, we're setting ourselves up for disaster later down the track when everything falls apart. It's better to be upfront now than pay later. Number 9, under promise and over deliver. A faithful man will always strive to over deliver. He knows that it's the little things in life that count and wants to do everything in his power to make you happy. He understands that relationships are all about giving and taking. So by constantly going above and beyond what is expected of him, he sets the tone for a fantastic relationship together based on mutual respect and admiration, which only helps strengthen the bond over time as time goes on further. Number 10, respectful. A faithful man will always respect you. He won't cheat on you because he knows that cheating is wrong and it's a violation of your trust. Respect is critical in any relationship and if it is absent, then the relationship is doomed to fail. A man who respects his partner will never do anything to jeopardize the relationship or make her feel uncomfortable. Cheating usually goes hand in hand with a lack of respect for one's partner. Someone who truly loves and cares about you would never dream of being unfaithful. So it's important to listen when your gut tells you something isn't right. Okay, this is the bottom line. It takes a very strong person to stay committed when things get tough, but if they truly love each other, then staying together through thick and thin is worth fighting for because nothing else matters more than being there for one another when it really counts. When it comes to relationships, there are no guarantees in life, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't aim high and shoot for the stars. If you're lucky enough to find a man who embodies all these qualities, then hold on to tight because it's definitely a keeper. Okay. Now, let me just give you um, my summary. One thing that you have noticed, uh, what makes a man a faithful man is communication, respect, placing your partner's priority very high, and accountability. These are things which are very important and need to be present when it comes to a faithful person. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you another article. Okay. Now, let me just state for the record, I'm not saying that women tend to cheat more. I'm not saying men cheat more. What I am saying is that there is a possibility where Men can be faithful, women can be faithful. At the same time, men can cheat, women can cheat. Now, this is an article that I've shared, I'm going to share, comes from Men's Health. It's a little old, but I think it's appropriate. Okay. And it's regarding the number one reason women cheat. And it was written by Alison Bonaguro. Okay. The conventional wisdom says women are more loyal to men, but brace yourself for the truth. When word spread that cheating website Ashley Madison was one big sausage fest, with some sources claiming that up to 95% of its users were male, no one was surprised. Conventional wisdom says women are hardwired for monogamy, that guys are the ones who cannot keep it in their pants. But here's a secret: women are every bit as likely to stray as men, which, as I said a short time ago. In a recent study from Indiana University, about 20% of both men and women come to having cheated on their current partners. Other research confirms that two timing stats are even between the genders. One of the researchers behind the Indian study, Christian Mark, a PhD, says that this is a big shift. Male philanthropists used to outnumber women, but it's unclear whether more women are cheating now or they're just more willing to admit it to researchers. You can blame infidelity on evolution, but in 2015, it's more about trying to propagate the human race. People get bored and curious, according to Mark's research. No matter how much you love your partner's sex, for the 752nd time with him or her probably doesn't seem as exciting as illicit first-time sex with a stranger at the bar. You get tempted, and without adequate self-restraint or with adequate doses of Jack Daniels, you falter. Still, men and women tend to cheat in different ways, which explains why Ashley Madison user base is allegedly all male, says Paul Hockenmeyer, PhD, a licensed marriage and family therapist based in Los Angeles and Telluride. The site, excuse me, just cleaning my phone. The site caters to what many guys want: sex with no strings attached, says Hockenmeyer. Many women, on the other hand, tend to look for an emotional connection to accompany sex, even if it's extramarital, he says. They crave the boost in oxytocin, the feeling good hormone they get from connecting with someone else. For this reason, female infidelity may often be less premeditated than, say, signing up for an affair website to find a sex partner, says Mark. Women may be more apt to meet someone first, for example, at work or at a bar, feel sparks from a relationship, and then cheat. The downside, while men tend to compartmentalize their affairs, it's just sex. Women sometimes become more wrapped up in this, says Hockenmeyer. Women are invested in outcomes and value the process of connection, he said. They feel the intensity of the affair rather than thinking of it as an inconsequential or without meaning and impact. The good news is that the strength of your relationship plays a major role. Women in happy unions are far less likely to cheat, according to Mark's research. Keeping her satisfied with the tips and techniques in how to pleasure women, the complete guide to becoming a master lover from experts to Men Health. To affair-proof your relationship, just make sure you stay connected, says Hockenwright. Don't let small squabbles snowball, and don't let any anger or resentment build up. It may be the last thing you feel like doing, but attending to the small breaches will prevent you from having close to a huge abyss that results from infidelity down the road, he says. Okay. Now, the fact of the matter is, and I see there's two people watching this stream. If anyone has a comment, by all means, they can enter it. Okay. But what I gather is there's certain things they can do to prevent your partner from straying. One of them is trying to resolve whatever issues that do exist. And because if you do not tend to those issues, it can fester like a cancer. And it can get to the point where the next thing you know, you're thinking of that cute guy in the office, or that cute or a sexy lady with a tight skirt at the bar. So what I'm going to do is excuse me. I'm going to share another article. Okay. And it's from the BBC. Okay. Which are men really more unfaithful to women? And it was written by Fiona Woods of BBC News. And for those of you who don't know what BBC stands for, that's the British Broadcasting Network. So let me just take it. Okay. Commonly quoted statistics suggest that men are more unfaithful to their partners, more men are unfaithful to their partners than women. But how reliable are the figures? And if it takes two to tango, if it's even mathematically possible? On the face of it, excuse me, just clear my throat. The evidence does not look good for men. The 2006 American General Social Survey found that nearly twice as many men as women admitted having sexual relations with someone other than their spouse. The UK last major study on sexual behavior, the 2000 National Survey of Sexual Attitudes and Lifestyle, found that 15% of the men had an overlapping relationship in the previous year, but only 9% of women. Dr. Catherine Mercer, head of analysis for Lifestyle, says the gender gap may be in part because women are less likely to own up to cheating than men. Interesting. We can't directly observe unfaithfulness, so we have to rely on what people tell us, and we know that there are gender differences in the way people report sexual behaviors, she said. But that's not the whole story. One explanation may spring to mind for this difference between the male and female statistics is that fewer women are being unfaithful, but they are also doing so more often. But all this evidence of the NetSol research suggests women generally have fewer sexual partners than men, not more. Another reason for the difference could be due to with age. We know that the average men tend to be slightly older than their female partners, says Mercer. If you imagine a scenario when your married man has an affair with a younger woman who is perhaps more likely to be single because she's younger, you will have engaged in unfaithfulness, but she would done. Whether or not you think a seeing woman who has sex with a married man is complicit in adultery would depend on your own moral code. It's also worth noting that some relationships are open, and in such relationships, sex with other partners would not be considered cheating. But there's no room for value judgments in the data. In fact, Dr. Mercer doesn't even use the word infidelity in her research, preferring to use the more neutral terms overlapping or concurrent relationships. Okay, well, I guess that's a new phrase for cheating. I mean, okay, so infidelity is quite a loaded word, whereas thinking about overlapping partnerships is more appropriate when we are thinking about the epidemiological context of this data, she says. We're thinking, for example, about the transmission of sexually transmitted infections and HIV. Men who pay for sex could also explain the higher rates of overlapping relationships. The last NatSol study found that about 4% of the men had paid for sex in the past 5 years. If we assume that there are fewer women selling sex than there are men paying for it, then prostitution can also explain some of the discrepancy. That assumes, of course, that far fewer women pay for sex. Previous studies have not asked women that question, so there's no firm data, but it will be asked at the next NatSol study. There's also another weakness in the methodology. Previous studies do not explicitly ask whether respondents have overlapping relationships. Instead, respondents were asked for the dates of their first and last sexual encounters with their most recent partners. Experts then studied the dates to look for overlaps. As Mercer pointed out, however, this method can give the impression of infidelity where none has occurred. Imagine a scenario where a couple can get together at a school and they split up and then to get back together years later. They have each other's partner in the meantime. So the date of first sex may well be when they were in school. A date of most recent sex may be last week, but then on the other sexual partner dates would suggest they have been unfaithful when they in fact had not. Can these studies tell us more anything about which kinds of men are more likely to cheat? The head of the American General Social Survey, Tom Smith, identifies several factors. Among the groups that are more likely to be unfaithful are the less religious and people who are separated from their spouses for extended periods of time, such as traveling or working away from home. Mercer says that young people report more overlapping relationships than older age groups. So if you are the female partner of a young man with no religion who spends a lot of time away, be warned. Okay. Now, some of it I'm going to agree with, some of it I'm also disagreeing. Because people who do not hold religious views, they do have the ability to be faithful. And people who do have religious views at times have been unfaithful. Okay? We have to dig deeper as far as the why. But there are many factors that go along with it. Okay. Now, I have been talking for about 35 minutes, and apparently this is going to be a monologue. So that's perfectly fine. I was hoping that we will have a discussion uh, regarding who can be faithful, who tends to be more faithful or less faithful. Okay, let's see. Nope. Just give me a moment. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to read another article. Um, it was written on August the 17th of this year. Hopefully, at this point, um, we'll have some people to get into the conversation. If not, I may have to think about ending this stream. Okay. And it's dealing with infidelity statistics for 2022, which is this year. Who cheats more, men or women? Okay. Cheating is more common than you think. If you have been cheated on before, don't put all the blame on yourself. It's not a 1 in a million occurrence, and many people have been in the same shoes as yours. But how common is it? And is it predisposed in our genetics? Does your gender reveal whether you cheat in your relationships? In this article, we will discuss adultery and infidelity statistics that you should know about and how they may affect your future relationships. Ready to find out who cheats more in relationships? Let's get started. Okay. This is an important reminder. Before discussing infidelity and adultery, let's be clear that everyone has their definitions of both terms. According to a 2010 research article, finding reliable and accurate infidelity statistics between males and females can be problematic, as only a limited number of people are surveyed. At the same time, further studies that reports are needed for the LGBTQIA plus communities. Now we're going to get into the topic. Who cheats more, men or women? The Institute for Family Studies, IFS, surveyed men and women from 2010 to 2016 who were either married or have been married before. According to the General Social Survey, men are more likely to cheat than women, with 20% of the men and 30% of the women reporting having sex with someone other than their partner while they were still married. However, the gender gap varies per age. From the same survey data, from married adults ages 18 to 29 says that more women are guilty of infidelity, with 11% of women survey group admitted to having an affair. In comparison, only 10% of the men from the age group are guilty. But the gap reverses as it jumps into the next age group. Among those ages 30 to 39 years old, infidelity in men increases, with 14% of the survey group saying that they cheated on their partner, and only 11% of the women admitted to having an affair. With age, cheating has become more prevalent. Men in their 60s report having a higher rate of infidelity, 24%, while their number still increases until the ages 70 to 79, with 26% of men cheating on their partners. Women, on the other hand, have the highest rate of infidelity in their 60s at 16%, but the number goes down as they approach the 70s. 13% and 80s, 6%. Interesting. Supporting data from the IFS 1990 survey also says that men have always been more inclined to cheat than women. But during this period, older men have the same tendency to cheat as their younger peers. The survey says that infidelity among men peaked at the age of 50 to 59 at 31%. The number decreases as men age during the period. For women, the highest infidelity rate is from 40 to 49, 18%, which declines as they age. However, between 2000 and 2009, the highest rate of infidelity among men shifted to the ages 60 to 69 at 29%, and women ages 50 to 59 at 17%. Compared to the 1990s data, more men ages 80 plus have admitted to cheating during this period, from 5% to 12%. I find it remarkable that men in their 80s cheat. I mean, you don't think about it. I mean, it's kind of like your grandpa cheating on grandma. It's weird to a certain extent, but I guess anything's possible. Okay. In 2020, IFS released an updated report stating that 20% of men have admitted to cheating and only 10% of women reported having an affair. With no further breakdown of each age group, the report shows that ages 18 to 34 and 65 plus of both men and women have the same infidelity rate of 16%. Now we're going to get into something interesting. How long do men and women wait before they tell their partner they cheated? Interesting. I'm a little disappointed that we haven't had too many people watching this. Maybe they're watching on the playback. In 2021, the Health Testing Centers asked 441 people who admitted infidelity to their partners and asked how long it took for them to tell their partners about it. According to the poll, 47.7% of the respondents told their partner within a week that they cheated. 26.6% of those have waited for a month, and 25.7% took 6 months or longer to tell their partners about the infidelity. Among those who waited for a week, 48% were women and 46.9% were men. Of those who waited a month, 26% were women and 27.4% were men. Lastly, respondents who waited 6 months or longer were 26% women and 25.7% men. There's really not that much of a difference between the two genders when it comes to telling the truth to their partners. Interesting. It kind of supports my hypothesis where both male and female have the ability to be faithful, and both male and female have the ability to cheat. So, now this is something: cheating on Tinder. In this age of technology, many people have found innovative ways to cheat on their partners. One of the most common ways of doing so is through dating app, particularly Tinder. According to a study published in Computers in Human Behavior, 18 to 25% of Tinder users are in a committed relationship while using the app. The study explored why people in relationship are still on the dating app despite their commitment. From the report, 42% of the surveyed Tinder users in the US admitted of being married or in a relationship. In the Netherlands, 17,000 Tinder users were polled, and 4% of the male participants and 2% of the female participants said they were using online dating apps or websites while in a committed relationship. Additionally, the study noted a survey of U.S. undergraduate Tinder users where 73.1% of the participants reported that one of their male friends is active on the app while in a relationship, and 56.1% of those stated that their female friends had used Tinder while being in a relationship. So basically, what it means, again, both male and female have the ability to cheat, which is something that I have discussed. Okay. Now, we're going to go into how likely is it for men and women to cheat. The tendency for someone to cheat varies from person to person, and while the reasons are often personal, while studies have shown that men are more guilty of infidelity, it does not dictate any future behavior and should not be used as to predict cheating in relationships. However, a 2020 research article published in Family Process states that on a dating site exclusively made for married couples have seen an increase of 1,500 new members per day as compared to 2019. According to the researchers, the increased internet usage and marital tension during the COVID-19 lockdown may have affected the growing number, but further study is needed to prove this claim. Now we're going to get into what counts as an affair. Infidelity and affair can be subjective and often varies from case to case, but in general, infidelity is any sexual or emotional activity that happens outside the agreed upon relationship boundary. While an affair can be sexual activity, it does not necessarily have to be. In some relationships, an affair could be in the form of hugging or kissing another person, and others not even that. According to an interview with Brian Oliver, a couples therapist licensed in Virginia, affairs can be any of the following: emotional infidelity, desiring your current partner and another person, online flirtation such as texting, video calling, and sexting, strongly designing your person apart from your partner, compulsive sexual behavior, one night stands. Will relationships work after infidelity? The decision to continue the relationship after cheating depends on the couple. In some relationships, couples can work through an affair and look past infidelity. However, others may find it difficult to trust their partners again and decide to move on from the relationship. You need to ask yourself what you feel and see if you can heal and trust your partner again. It is difficult and painful to be cheated on, but relationships still work after infidelity if both partners are willing to work through it. If you are in that situation, it's best to consult with a counselor and see if you can manage to move past the betrayal and rebuild the trust. However, don't feel obligated to repair a broken relationship, especially if your partner does not want to do any of the work. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is go into healing after infidelity. Can you move past the cheating? If your partner has cheated on you, the most important thing you need to remember is not to blame yourself. Most of the time, people who have been cheated on have blamed themselves for the infidelity of their partners. This is not healthy behavior and it can be problematic. Instead, find a way to heal yourself and check whether or not you still want to commit to a relationship. You also need to remember to separate yourself from situation and jealousy. Many ways can help get past the cheating. One,
Getting professional help, such as therapy, talking with a family member or trusted friend, focusing on yourself, and keeping yourself busy with things that can make you happy can help you get back on track. In addition, there are other tips you can heal after infidelity in a committed relationship. Don't judge and criticize yourself. Be kind and let yourself grieve and heal. If you need space, take time off of work and focus on healing. Focus on what you need. Do not let others tell you how you should heal. Your needs matter. Once you establish what you need, work on meeting them. It's best to start a new routine rather than focus on the same things you used to do. This will help you break free from old patterns. Don't be shy to get professional help. Often we feel we can heal ourselves and we're scared to admit that we need help. Consider some form of counseling or support group to rebuild your life after infidelity. Now, this is good. This is the bottom line. So, who cheats more, men or women? Well, infidelity statistics show men cheat more than women. It shouldn't be the basis for who cheats more. The survey group should not determine the whole population, so don't generalize that every man will cheat because of these numbers. If you had an affair before or have cheated or you've been cheated on, you're not alone. Many people are guilty of infidelity and it's not the end of the world. Healing is possible. If you feel like you've lost all hope in love, don't give up so soon. The right partner will come. Okay. Now, as you can see, um, there's not a clear answer regarding who cheats more, men or women. As we can see by these articles, um, both sexes have the capability of being faithful. At the same time, both sexes have the ability to cheat. Okay. However, there are steps that you can take to prevent it. Um, Communication is the key. Being honest. Um, any concerns, any issues, get them resolved as soon as you can, and do not allow them to fester. So, and if you need help, don't be ashamed and get counseling. Okay. Now, let's make this perfectly clear. Not everyone can stay in a committed relationship. There are those who prefer to have multiple sexual partners. Okay. You have to be honest with yourself and honest with whomever you're going to have a relationship. Before you get into a relationship, if you're the type of person that you cannot remain committed to one person, be honest from the onset, and then it'll be up to the person to make that determination to whether or not they wish to pursue a relationship with you. So, that being said, um, I have spoken for almost an hour, and I see here that there's not too much activity tonight. So, if anyone has any comments, they're free to enter them in the chat. The link is there if they wish to join the panel and express their point of view. Okay. And also, one thing I do want to make perfectly clear, no one is obligated to share their personal experiences if they choose not to. Okay. I'm just good, before I end this, I'm just going to share my experiences. Now,
I have never cheated on anyone. Unfortunately, people have cheated on me. Okay. And there are many factors. And I see here we have James Maps. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much for stopping by. The topic for tonight is who are more faithful, men and women? Okay. Now, I do know that James is married and I believe he has a child. So, um, also, I want to let people know that James Map has a YouTube platform. So, I'm going to ask that if you have not done so, please consider subscribing to his platform. And then when you have an opportunity, check out his content. Okay. I'm glad to see. Okay, I'm glad to see that you're okay, that you're doing good. And I was not too sure if you had a daughter. I know you had one child. Okay, so I don't know if you have an opinion regarding the topic. Who can be more faithful, men or women? Um, I'm going to give you my personal opinion. Okay, and my personal opinion is the following: both men and women have the ability to be faithful to their partners. At the same time, they also have the ability to cheat on their partners. And it could be a little frightening. Okay. And I see here, okay. Okay, well, congratulations. I'm glad to see that that you're doing well with your marriage. Okay. And I'm sure you and your better half have had issues that that you have to deal with, but you was able to resolve them because you two love each other very much. That is my understanding. I could be wrong, but that's what I believe. And unfortunately, I have had women who cheated on me, and I had women who dumped me. Okay. In fact, I had a girlfriend who dumped me on all days, Christmas Day. So it's like she couldn't get on the telephone or call me or do FaceTime or whatever and tell me that it's over. She waited until Christmas Day to tell me that it was over. But you know what? I've moved on. I've moved on and I have recovered. Excuse me. Because the worst thing you can do if staying in a relationship where both parties don't want to resolve those issues. That is the worst thing that you can do. So, meaning that no one else is going to comment further, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop to talk about my next stream, which will be on Thursday. I think it's going to be on 8:30. Okay, and I think there's a comment. Okay, let's take a look. Yes, absolutely. Me and my wife, we yell at each other a lot in front of our little girl. I remember that we don't do no more, and we can spend a lot of time with our daughter or each other. Well, I'm glad that you and your wife was able to resolve whatever issues that you both had. And, and it's never good to have an argument in front of children. Nowadays, children can be very sensitive when they see mommy and daddy fight. And then they're thinking all sorts of things. And sometimes they can blame themselves for things that are way beyond their control, their concern, their control. So I'm happy to see that you were able to resolve those issues. So on Thursday, I think I'm gonna be on 8:30. I'm gonna have what's called open discussion. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, open discussion is basically we talk about anything that's on our mind. So what I will do is I will get the ball rolling. I will have certain things that I would discuss, and then I will ask the audience if there's anything that's on their mind that they wish to discuss. And it could be anything, including if they want to talk about White Castle and why White Castle is the best thing since sliced bread. Okay. So that's gonna be the discussion on Thursday. Now this weekend I'm gonna be away. I'm gonna be away in upstate New York because I'm gonna be involved what's called delegate training. Some of you do not know that I am a union man and I'm also a union rep. So every couple of years we have a weekend where we spend time on delegate training to be effective delegates. Now, also this Friday is my birthday. Okay, so I will become 60 years old. So it's a very important milestone. And we have the presence of White Lives Matter. Good evening. Thank you very much for stopping by. I don't know. I think this is your first time here. If it is, welcome to Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. I hope that you will consider frequent the platform. Just to let you know, here we talk about everyday issues and we try to find logical solutions. And everyone is welcome to express their point of view. Ok, ay, no sabía que hablan español. Me alegro, yo soy bien, gracias a Dios. Algunas veces que han hecho programaciones completamente en español. Espero que en la próxima ocasión que haga un stream completamente en español, que se pueda participar y expresar su punto de vista. Gracias por su visita. Okay. It just so happens that White Lives Matter speaks Spanish, so I decided to speak a little Spanish to her. Okay. Well, thank you very much, White Lives Matter, for stopping by. So this Friday is my birthday. I apologize for that. So I'm going to be sharing my day with members of my union family. Also, I'm going to be doing a little birthday celebration on Monday with my siblings. So basically, it's just going to be a time where we're going to eat, break bread, we're going to enjoy each other's company, and I'm going to be doing a short stream. So what I'm going to be doing, I'll send the link to all those. Hopefully, some of you will consider stopping by to express your birthday wishes to me. I just want to say that I appreciate
all the love and support that I've gotten from all of you, okay? Because if it wasn't for you, I would not have a platform. It'll probably be, in fact, I'll go live at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is 3 o'clock Central Standard Time, and 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I'm not going to be on long. I'm just going to, it'll be one of the few times I'll cam up. So therefore, you'll get to see me. And hopefully, some of my siblings will express a couple of words to the audience. So, that being said, I'm just going to get ready to wrap this up. I guess other people will catch the stream on the playback. So, the topic tonight was who are more faithful, men and women. And the conclusion that I reach is that both male and female have the capability to be faithful, and both male and female have the ability to cheat. But there are many factors that get taken into consideration as far as if you choose to stay faithful or you choose to stray. So hopefully on Thursday there will be um, uh, more activity in the chat and on the panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the same way that I always close. Let's be good to ourselves and to each other. And I just want to thank everybody. Okay. Sí, José, mi nombre es Isabela, yo soy de España, yo soy madre de España y hablo español con inglés con fluidez. Viajo a Inglaterra para estudiar inglés. Me alegro. Solamente quiere decir que el domingo, el 16 de este mes, vamos a tener el próximo programación completamente en español. Yo no sé qué será la tema. Yo voy a tratar de preparar algo y espero que será algo que usted se pueda disfrutar. And for those who are not Spanish speaking, as I simply stated, that I don't know what's going to be the topic for my next Spanish stream. Hopefully, be something that the audience can enjoy. So that being said, I thank everybody who appear on the chat, and I see. Okay, I see now people are popping up. Okay, you know what? Maybe I should think about doing these streams at a later time. Okay. Oh, that's why I keep forgetting James can speak Spanish too. Okay. James, maybe the next time I do a stream completely in Spanish, maybe you might consider joining the panel. Okay. If you can, it will be great. If not, I understand. Because we all get very busy. Well, that being said, I'm going to end this stream. And I just want to say thank you very much for allowing me to enter into your devices. So this has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. And I wish you all a very good night. Wait a minute, we have one more. You're quite welcome.
Por nada. White lives matter. Okay. Oops. My computer is acting up. Okay. Oops. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Oh boy, just give me a moment. De nada. Eso fue mi placer. Okay. Okay. So that being said, this has been another episode of Adios, White Lives Matter. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Wishing you all a pleasant good night. Bye.
Be strong.